What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Your Destiny Smiles. I realize that it's been quite some time since we last spoke, so I'm going to do my best within the first 60 seconds to 2 minutes to kind of give you an update. This is going to be my 1-year update since I last posted my I got laid off video. 2023 was crazy. It was so many things for me personally. It was wins, lots of losses, which I'll get into a little bit later, and just all around a roller coaster ride of emotions. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. If you're interested in hearing my update, please stay tuned. First, I'm not even gonna hold you. I want to let you know that God has truly blessed me in this last year. I was thankfully able to secure a job in the summer of 2023. Now, this is after 8 months of being laid off, 8 months of just like applying for jobs over and over. I mean, you guys know how crazy this job market is right now, and how you have to create an account and upload your resume and then upload your cover letter. You have to tailor each job and you have to create an account, and it was just crazy. Not to mention the quick applying on LinkedIn. I did ZipRecruiter, I did Indeed. Like, I was really trying to find a job. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the job a little bit later in this video, but I just wanted to let you know I got a job. I am so happy with the role and position that I'm in right now. I'm so happy with the company. Just overall, it's been a really great experience for me, and I just didn't want to get too far into the video without letting you know I do have a job, and I'm very grateful for that. Before I share more about the job, I do want to jump into a couple of other things. One, my laid off experience. I got laid off in November of 2022, the week right before Thanksgiving. In hindsight, it was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I wasn't particularly happy in the job and role I was at. I was a little burnt out on people management and just burnt out on going so hard for corporations that really were not pouring back into me. The day of was like super emotional. I was like overwhelmed, but weeks after, I was, this is great. Chris and I, we actually ended up doing a lot of traveling, and I'll share some clips of that.
Present from me to you.
Thank you, dear.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm gonna blow it out now.
Happy birthday, dear Destiny. Happy birthday to you. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We traveled to Seattle, where I got to experience snowboarding for the first time. We spent a few weeks in Miami house sitting and dog sitting for some of our closest friends. And that was so great because Miami has like almost the perfect weather, and it was just so beautiful to just be wrapped in sunshine. And in Miami is actually where I got the courage and inspiration to go ahead and post my laid off experience, resulting in over 25K views. Crazy to think about. Shortly after that, we took our first Alaskan cruise, which, oh my gosh, what an experience. Alaska was so beautiful, and we just happened to pick out the most perfect week. We had the most perfect weather, and it was just some of the most beautiful scenic views I've ever seen in my life. Alaska's like untouched territory. It was just incredibly beautiful. We did some excursions on our cruise, and honestly, it was just so beautiful. If you haven't done, I want to actually go back without a cruise just to explore a little bit more, but it was just so beautiful. We saw bald eagles, deer. We went fishing, but we didn't catch anything, and I think we kind of were fishing at like the beginning of the season, so it would have had to been catch and release anyway, which, sorry for another day, because I think we paid like $500 for that excursion. Wow. wild. But we've never been fishing in Alaska before, so we thought totally worth it, right? But we had such an amazing experience. I will say in Vancouver, which is where we ported out of, we actually ended up having some of our luggage stolen, which was insane. But thankfully we had all of our important documentation on our person, so like our passports, wallets, cash, all of that stuff we actually had with us. But if you want to know more about that, let me know in the comments. Happy to post a short video about like what that experience was. But besides that, I just want to say Alaska was so beautiful. Loved it. Loved every part of it. I was a part of 2 weddings in 2023, which was crazy. Flew out to Virginia to support my friends Leslie and James in their wedding as a bridesmaids, and then back to Alabama, which is where I'm from, to support our friends Mary, Joy, and Arthur, who got married at a beautiful venue in Alabama. Weddings, being a part of weddings is just already so much, y'all. There's different dresses. Each wedding had a different color scheme, and then the bridal showers, and there's so much planning that goes around a wedding. So I was so excited to be a part of that. But that was in Virginia, then the other one was in Alabama. So lots of traveling back and forth between there. We also spent a huge amount of time in Texas in 2023. We had fun visiting family and friends in Texas as well. Overall, I would say like during that time, I was mentally in a good spot. I was excited that I had time to explore and just travel and just have a good time. Now, I will say there were a couple of weeks where it was getting to me that I didn't have a job. Like, the one thing about me is I like working. I've always had, honestly, a couple of jobs at a time. I don't mind hard work. I have a very high work ethic. And so there was a point in time where I'm sitting and reflecting about, oh, I'm spending all this time and I'm spending so much money. And, I don't know, there was a couple of weeks where it did get to me and I kind of beat myself up about it, feeling like I wasn't doing enough. And I posted about those experiences where it was just like really tough. Mentally, it's really tough when you are so used to working, so used to having your own income, but you kind of are leaning on your partner to support. That's a lot to even put on your partner. I didn't necessarily want him footing the bill for everything. So thankfully I did have savings. I was prepared. I had been knowing for quite some time that something was happening with my company because they had actually done another layoff earlier in the year. So by the time it rolled around for me, that first layoff was already a red flag for me. So I had encouraged my team, even myself. Even the year prior to that, though, was the COVID season. And I was already feeling shaky during that time as well, because I worked for Starbucks at that time. And I was the store manager of a mall location. And, malls were the first thing to shut down during the pandemic. So I was already feeling like super shaky ground. So from that point on, I went really hard into just saving as much as I can. I mean, one point I was probably saving whole checks outside of like your essential bills. I was saving my entire check because I just didn't want to be caught, lacking without money, and just the feeling of just not knowing that you won't be able to support yourself. Thankfully, what I will say is I have a very kind and loving partner, boyfriend Chris. He never once made me feel like I was a burden or like this was something that we could not handle together. Overall, I had a really good experience being laid off. And I know that, I'm so blessed to be able to even say that. I'm in a position where I have a supportive family, where I have a supportive partner, where I had savings. I was pretty prepared for this. So I definitely feel blessed. And I know that's not the case for other people and other families. And so I just want to put it out there. If you are somebody who's currently dealing with this, if you're somebody who's experiencing a current layoff, or you're finding yourself without a job right now, I understand. Like, the stuff that's going on in the world right now is just so heavy, and adding to that by not having a job it's just so stressful, and I completely understand. So I'm praying for you. I'm praying that things improve. I'm praying that things get better, and I have faith that they will. The other thing I want to say is the unemployment process in Georgia, complete trash. In the 8 months that I was laid off, I got unemployment one time. It is a extremely overwhelming process. Let me say that. And I think they purposely and intentionally make it difficult. I even had a caseworker. He was not the kindest person to work with either. And, you know, they require that you fill out at least 3 jobs a week, which was not a big deal because I was already doing that. I was filling out multiple jobs within a week. But then you have to upload the proof. You have to upload the proof to their site and documentation and just a whole bunch of steps that just made the entire process ridiculous. Like I said, I only got unemployment for 1 week, and I think it was $308, or maybe it was $208. I just quit trying after a while because I just hated the process. It just sucked the life and energy out of me. So the Georgia unemployment process needs to be updated. It was awful, insane, hated every part of it. And if you're in that spot right now, I'm so sorry that you're having to go through that. It seems easier to just search outside of unemployment, to be quite honest, which is what I did. Maybe I'll make a separate video on this, but I'll just briefly share with you here how I landed my current role. And I'm going to say this and probably sound like a broken record, but you have, number one thing is you have to utilize your network. Have to use your network. I mean, maybe sometimes you don't want to use your friends or ask them, but if you're in a position where you really, really need a job and you know that their company is hiring, why not? Utilize your network. The friend from high school, the friend from college, the teacher you connected with, like the person at your last job who went on to move into a new role and position. You have to be able to utilize your network. Put yourself out there. Yes, it's an uncomfortable and unnerving feeling to be vulnerable, but let's be for real, we need a job. So you have to just put yourself out there. 2, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. In my current role, I had some very specific criteria, and I'm so proud of myself for putting it out there, like what I wanted. And that was things like salary, things like whether the role is hybrid or remote or in office, negotiating benefits and perks and things like that. Do not be afraid to ask for what you want. I already said 3, utilize your network. I got this job through a friend, and I'm forever grateful because even though I didn't specifically fit every element of the role, there were parts of it where I fit perfectly, you know, and then other things you're able to learn on the job. So those are my top 3. Put yourself out there, be vulnerable, ask for what you want, and utilize your network. I'm not guaranteeing you, I'm just sharing what my experience was and what I did, but I think that those things would be really, really helpful. And that's coming from somebody who in 7 to 8 months, I was on Indeed, I was on ZipRecruiter, I was on LinkedIn. In the end, what I'm saying is it was a personal connection that landed me my job. A personal connection, me knowing somebody who knew somebody and who was able to help me land a job. Last couple of things I want to talk about in this video, because I don't want it to be too long. Last year, honestly, the reason why I stopped posting as much as I was, because I felt like I was on a roll. I was doing really, really well with YouTube. I experienced so much death last year. And what I mean by that is on my parents' side, my parents lost about 4 family members last year. 1 including my dad's sister, and then at the end of 2023, my stepsister, his first daughter. I just seen my parents go through that kind of hurt, and it started, you know, much earlier in the year. It was just incredibly sad and overwhelming to deal with. My boyfriend Chris, he lost his grandmother as well. His grandmother is who raised him, and that's why we were kind of back and forth in Texas for the latter part of the year. So honestly, it just didn't feel right or appropriate to bring y'all on those journeys with me. I feel like it's something that was super personal and private, and to be quite honest, I am trying to navigate how to do YouTube and still have a private life. I don't want everybody in my business, to be quite honest, but I want to create good and thoughtful and nice content. You know, I want to have a creative outlet, but not necessarily share every single aspect of my life. I just felt like it wasn't appropriate to share. My family was and still is hurting. Yeah, I just decided I wasn't feeling it. I'm gonna just be 100 with you. I was not feeling it. I wasn't feeling YouTube. I wasn't in a space where I feel like I wanted to put it out there. And like, if I'm not aligned, if I'm not feeling it, then I feel like I shouldn't make a move on it. To be quite honest, and this is kind of probably where I'll end it, I always struggle with the idea of oversharing on social media, and I never wanted to be that girl. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still trying to figure out what this journey looks like for me. And I just want to say thank you guys for rocking with me. I've still grown in the time that I've been off YouTube. I have 438 or 37 subscribers right now. So I'm almost at 500, and that's crazy. I was still trying to post shorts and things like that and just kind of stay as active where I could, but I'm still trying to discover what this platform is going to be for me, and I'm okay with that. I feel really, really good. I feel really positive. I feel like I'm in such a good spot in my life, and it was not always like that. So if you got this far in the video, thank you so much for being here, for coming back, for checking in, for sending nice messages. Yeah, I'm gonna post more as much as I can, and I hope that you guys would stay tuned. Leave a comment below. How is your 2024 going so far? What's on the agenda for you? If you can relate to any of these experiences, please just let me know. Happy to talk to you guys in the comments, okay? Thanks so much, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.